What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're taking a look at Payday 3 early access here on the Steam Deck, and we also looked at this game back at beta not long ago, and performance was pretty rough, but it's certainly improved now, so I want to take a look at that. And also a huge thanks to Deep Silver, who provided the code here for the Epic Game Store version to check out performance on the Steam Deck. So let's go ahead and get into it. And like I said, this is the Epic Game Store version, so if you don't have that installed on your deck, you may need to do so. If you get this C++ runtime error, you're going to need to install that as well, whether it's for Steam or Epic games. So on the desktop here, you'll see I'm running Proton Tricks to do that. You can do it with Payday directly with Steam or Epic Games right here directly. I do have a video for doing this in the last Payday video, so I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to take a look at the process. Now, I also use Proton Up Qt to get the Proton version I'm using here as well, which is GE Proton 15. So you might need to use that if you don't already have some Proton versions on your deck. As far as getting Epic Game Store installed on your Steam Deck, I have videos for that as well. I'll try to put a link in the description, but the Steam Deck playlist on my channel has all kinds of how-tos for that. So let's go ahead and jump into the Epic Game Store launcher here. And I did have that ++ issue, and I did have to install that for Epic Games here, but other than that, the GE Proton 15 has been running everything just fine. So once we get launched into the game here, we will check out our settings, and we are running 4 gigs of VRAM right now in the BIOS. We're borderless 800p, unlimited on frame rate, VSync's off, motion blur and depth of field are off. And we also have 2 settings we didn't have in beta, which is anti-aliasing on performance and upscaling on performance. That may give us some shimmering and stuff in the game, but it does help our performance. And then low on the settings with medium post-processing, which gives me a decent enough image for what we're working with here and trying to keep the FPS up as high as we can. So let's go ahead and get into Payday 3 here and check it out. Now, just off the bat, when I jumped in doing the same mission we did during beta here with the bank heist, so you grab the bag, take it upstairs and all that, this was much improved over what we experienced back with beta. And we still get some frame drops and everything here. Some of this gets played in the 30s or 40s, and then there's times it gets up into those 50s, but that's way better than what we were dealing with before. And the frame times feel pretty good. The performance feels pretty nice. It's not super stuttery. We do get those dips where it recovers, but they're not near as bad as what they were before. So what they've done to help patch or update the game here for early access, plus I believe removing Denuvo from the game, has definitely helped with some of the stuttering and performance stuff that we were hitting up against before. You'll still see some of it here in this video, and I think some more patching, a little bit of smoothing out, and they can even get rid of some of those hiccups and really help the experience here. But it is definitely improved and much more playable here on the Steam Deck than it was back in beta. And I don't think I was really getting FPS or performance like this at all there. And I also think that maybe, even though other rounds do run really well, and we'll take a look at that, this could be a good candidate for a 40 FPS cap on the deck as well, which might help some of that stuff too. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the other map that I pulled up here playing in early access. And this one was much easier to run than the bank heist. And even a little bit later, when we have more going on with more police on screen, which we'll take a look at, it still holds up pretty well. I had less dips down to 29 or 31 where it had to recover and come back up. It did happen once or twice, but it was much less than the bank heist. And for the most part, this map just felt way better than that one. So that definitely tells you that depending on what map you're playing and mode, whatever heist you're doing, could definitely affect the performance quite a bit here on the Steam Deck and what you're getting. So if you're adjusting your settings, make sure that you really play a few different areas and give it a chance and see what you like if you want trying to up settings or change things a little bit, because things really do run differently. In this area I was talking about where it got a little bit more busy and we got down to the 40s, it still ran great, felt great to play. And again, maybe even though this is an FPS style game, might be a decent one to play around with a 40 FPS cap if you wanted to there. But all in all, just with my time spent so far here with Payday 3 on the Steam Deck through the Epic Game Store like this, has been pretty decent and definitely improved from the beta. If you are playing the Steam version, I have a hunch you'll get a little bit better performance since you're not going through the Epic Game Store launcher. And typically for me, that's the case, where the Steam versions will often outperform the other launchers by a bit, which makes sense. But I think I'll pretty much leave it there. Payday 3 is definitely running way better on the Steam Deck than it was at beta. It's definitely more playable. I'll have links in the description if you want to support the creators, the devs of the game down there. We'll have some links in there for some of those how-tos. I'll try to remember to throw some of that in there to help you out if you need help with getting Epic Game Store installed or anything like that. All right, guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.